Hey, what's up, guys? Here's some practical leadership in marriage for men when it comes to uh, disagreement with a wife or girlfriend. I guess for younger guys, for a girlfriend. Anyway, that's the point, and this comes from I don't know, man, trial and error, and lead my wife. All right, so practical leadership in marriage for men, or you guys in your early relationships before you're going to get married. Okay, so you got a mindset, right? So you got to take leadership and control over yourself in all instances. Okay, this is critically important. Many times, a woman or a wife will test you. They're going to do it through baseless insults, and you guys have all heard those before, especially you married guys out there. Character insults, mistreating, and even the worst of the worst, name calling, which is just just laugh it off. Anyway, not even laugh it off, just correct it anyway. But these are basically all these kind of avenues that and traps that are set before you are to pitch you into an argument. Because the deal is, guys, you know, if they can pitch you into an argument and you lose your cool, they're justified basically, like everything that they're kind of upset about in the first place, right? And they're going to test to your control and your resolve. So the best way when you're getting baited into one of these situations, and some of them are going to be valid, and some of them are going to be completely baseless. Um, but know this that it's the spark is that they want to see if you're in control. And if you lose your temper, you get heated, you say things that you normally wouldn't say, you you let your tongue and your anger get the best of you, and you react, you can't win. I mean, you can't win. It's not going to work. So there's a couple things you can do. So two things, the easiest ways, the two quickest things you can do to just get over this quick little hurdle when these baseless insults and character insults, any of this nonsense happens. I mean, I guess you could do one. You could just ignore it. You could laugh it off. But I'll give you the steps that I do the ignoring and the laughing off too. And it literally, it's like a cloud of smoke. Like you ever cigarette smoke, or just you watch it dissipate. It like actually dissipates in real time. As long as you don't lose your cool, and long as you don't get baited into it. But an uncontrolled man is going to lose his cool and get roped into her game, right? She kind of set the disagreement, and when you react to it, you're all of a sudden playing by her rules and her game. And then that's it. You're going to get drawn in, and you're going to get into a verbal combat. That's what it is. It's going to be this mudslinging, and she'll say something, and you'll say something back, and then she'll sling mud back, and all of a sudden it's out of control, and you as a guy have failed to control yourself as a man, and that's really what the purpose is. Because if you as a guy control yourself as a man and do these couple tactics, it all dissipates like that smoke coming off a cigar or a cigarette, and you're just watching it in still air fade into the room. It's exactly what happens when you don't respond to it, and you just keep walking, and you're controlled and measured throughout the whole thing. Um, when this occurs and you lose your cool, she is going to win. It doesn't matter if it was complete rubbish. It doesn't matter if it was baseless. It doesn't matter if it was an attack. Like that's a that's a win for her, right? You lost your cool, she wins. You can't do that as a man. So you can do two steps to stop this. You got to do the ignoring and the dissipating, but you can also do this. So you could just do like a quick gut check, right? That's number one. You could just remain calm. Don't lose your cool. You gotta you gotta temper yourself, right? You're a man. Like have been trained in the heat of battle. Like men have been doing this forever to be very tempered. You are hungry, you're on the hunt, there's a deer in front of you, all you got is a stupid spear with you. You got to be in complete control of your body no matter what. There could be like insects biting your legs. You just got to shut up and keep getting close to that deer so you can kill it. So we're built like that. Like God designed us like this. So realize that. So the first thing, remain calm and either don't react or say, quick reaction. Hey, don't speak to me like that. Sit. Don't do it. And if that continues, the quickest way to just be done with that situation is walk away. Just exit verbally and mentally. Go do what you need to do. Whatever that might be. It might be getting back to work, a project, a walk, whatever. Exit the situation. Know this. When you exit the situation, it's going to be like some blasting coming your way because it's going to be like, hey, let me figure out how to bait him. Like, let me just bait him into the last bits of this argument. But you just got to be done. Just walk out, walk through it mentally, check out, go back to what you should be doing. Your job, the kids, whatever it might be. Tell her like, not now. Don't speak to me. Like, just end it like that and stop her dead in her tracks from all of that baiting. And listen to this, guys. Almost every single time after you withdraw, either she's going to bait you again, and you're just going to get round two'd into it, and you just follow the same guidelines again because you're a man. Like, this is your deal. She's either going to bait you again, and then you could just go back to step one and, back to that smoke dissipating, or after the time, you just go back to doing your job, what you should be doing, like all this stuff, guys. Typically, she's going to apologize. And the weird, twisted, crazy thing about it is that apology is going to come by not taking ownership of the misstep, right? It's not going to take ownership of her misstep, but she'll apologize, and she'll either blame you. Ridiculous, and it's ridiculous, and you could even say that's ridiculous. You don't need to argue it out. You just need to just remind that that's insane. It's ridiculous. Or she'll blame her mood, her emotions. She'll essentially never take ownership of that spitty spat baiting argument, and don't even expect her to. It's just like it's not the nature. Okay. So all you can do at that point is just correct it and say, hey, don't do that again, and then move on. Just know that women are just they're just volatile by nature. And men and you guys that are volatile by nature, you got to start curbing that volatility. Because every time you get volatile and you get baited into those disagreements, you damage yourself in her estimation of you, and you damage your family, and you just everything. Your marriage gets damaged, your relationship gets damaged. So just know those things. So just let it go, right? Let it dissipate like smoke. Like, what it is. Like, hey, this is, it's a volatile situation. I know exactly what's occurring. I'm in control of myself. I'll get back to my job. I'll do what the task at hand. I don't know why I was going to say that. The task at hand, and that'll be it. And then you could usually, after walking away for some time, expect a rebaiting, or what is going to happen. That is that apology, which is never really actually an apology. It's just hey, I was having a tough day. The kids, this has happened. I've argued with my sister, my mother, my father. They annoyed me. My mood. I didn't sleep well. You'll get one of those situations. Okay, so just expect that and just whatever. Just, hey, don't do that again. That's it. So the key to leadership is having this control. And being unfazed, even if you are completely shaken and being baited and, kind of going through like a little bit of that situation, just and some will bait more than others, and some will do it in very nasty, spiteful ways. Like they'll bring up last arguments that you had and how you reacted, anything to bait you into the argument. And you guys have to do anything that you have to go back to your job, go back to what you should be doing. Think about being on the hunt and know that that smoke it'll just dissipate. It'll just dissipate on its own. It's wild to watch it happen. And the more you do this and the more you're in control of yourself, you guys that have been in disagreements with your girlfriends or wives for hours or days or a week or whatever, being cold shouldered for a long time, that turnaround time is going to get quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker every single time, to where, all of a sudden it's in like 10 minutes. Like, how the hell did that happen? Like all I did was like ignore it, go back to work. That's it. That's all you did. And then all of a sudden, like 10 minutes later, hey, sorry about that, but I had a terrible time with the kids, whatever it might be. My sister's driving me crazy, my mother, blah, 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 blah. You'll get something along those lines. Okay. And then, just do gentle, just don't talk to me like that. Don't do that again. Because it doesn't benefit the relationship, it doesn't benefit the marriage, it doesn't benefit the children. It degrades everything. All right. So listen, why this is important, okay, guys? Like mindset wise, is that's her baiting, that's her argument. So you don't want to step into that minefield. Like you're not going onto that battlefield. You're just gonna sit up upon your fortress, right? You're not gonna get baited out into the field where you could react. Like you don't want to do that. You just want to chill out, do your task at hand, and let the chips kind of fall, and they'll settle themselves like every single time. The only times that the chips have not settled themselves is when I reacted poorly. Every single time I didn't react poorly, settles itself out. Every single time, no matter what. And hey, I've argued, tried to prove myself right, even when I've been 100% right, got baited into, spiteful things. Every single time that I've done that, it's just degraded the relationship, made a situation last a long time to try to come back together, fix things up, and it justifies her, and you end up losing your control, and your value as a man that's supposed to be controlled and measured and protective just gets all diminished. So think about it this way, okay, guys? Like mindset, a man he gives protection and leadership and headship and clarity and certainty, and he takes on sacrifice, okay? And he takes on responsibility and ownership of the whole family. That includes the wife. That includes the children, okay? A man's family could be his ruin, right? Like if you react in a certain way, like you're going to be known in the future by how your wife moves through the world and how your kids move through the world and how you are either controlled as a man or not controlled. Okay, and how you're leading your family, right? Because that's you're giving, like men give, right? Protection, leadership, headship, clarity, certainty, taking on sacrifice and responsibility, ownership of the whole family, everything that goes on in your family, including your wife, including your children, including all those choices, that's on your shoulders. And at the end of the day, there's one person to blame for any failure that happens in the family, and that's you. And it's some misstep that you took. It could be a misstep that you took upon meeting this woman back in the day. Like just, but you could trace it back to like, these are the missteps that I took to get me into this situation. And it doesn't take a long time to do that, to kind of wrap your head around it. Once you say, I'm not a victim, I'm over all these situations. Okay? You have to be over all of these situations. So think about it this way: the king takes ownership of all of the ones that he governs, everyone in his land. So your whole family. The mindset that she has to take ownership of her faults is pretty much distorted, kind of modern way of thinking about things, and it's never really been the case. It just hasn't been the case. Your governance is governing over everybody, right? That's the deal. Like, you're in control over everything. Your responsibility is to all these things inside your realm that God has given you command over. So guys, don't be a victim. Don't get trapped into, fighting on somebody else's battlefield or responding to baseless ridiculousness with, with air. Don't be measured, be controlled. Know that at the end of the day, it's all upon your shoulders, and it's your shoulders to correct all these issues, and to know that you're not a victim. Like, you cannot go into that victim mentality of like, oh, she's, this and like you're just gonna end up being a victim. And especially like, oh man, if you say that to other guys, like, that just looks terrible. It does. Like, it looks terrible to other guys. Like, if you're standing around with a bunch of other dudes and like you start blaming your wife for like ridiculousness, like, man, you're just going to be diminished in front of those guys. And then if you go to her and you're like, oh, like, you should have da da da, and all this stuff, like, you're just playing the victim card to her, and that's not going to work out. So hey, just quick way to not get out of an argument. Quick way to take ownership of the argument and to dissipate it as quickly as possible, knowing your nature and the way you're supposed to be, and knowing her nature and the way she's made. The quickest way, those 2 steps, or do that, the first step, and just let it dissipate. It will resolve itself so quickly, as long as you don't get baited and you don't react. That's it, guys. Out.